Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of the F1 Agenda podcast. I'm your host, Dan, and today I'll be joined by Simon,
Hello.
Jeebus,
Hello.
and Tiger.
Hello.
Today we'll be previewing the French Grand Prix. Haven't actually done a race preview yet this year, but since France is back on the calendar, we'll be back. We'll do a little preview for it, and I think we'll start with the layout we'll be using for the French Grand Prix out of the possible 167. Do you want any more track layouts?
Just too much runoff.
Mhm.
Way too much runoff. There's so much space. We want walls close to the track, causing safety cars and that. Uh,
The thing is, Paul Ricard is and will always be a test track. F1 team use it as a test track. The WC used it as a test track as early as late as April this year.
Well, F1 used it as a tyre testing track in January.
Yeah, it is
Didn't Merck also have a tyre test quite recently there?
that as
But it
well.
wasn't on like the Grand Prix layout, but it was at Paul Ricard.
Yeah, it was the other week.
Mm.
But yeah, it's definitely it's a test track, and you can see it on you can like watching how I watched the European Le Mans recently as well when they drove there. You can feel it's a test track as well just by looking at the racing there. Like it feels and looks like a test track.
yeah, I've driven a few mods on like R Factor and Assetto Corsa with it, and I found driving it is a really weird feeling just because of this. Like it just doesn't really feel like a track that you race with other cars. It's just a hot lapping track basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, an interesting thing about that is you look at the sectors, like, you can see they've tried to make it somewhat raceable because they've got the DRS long straights now. And there's a hard braking zone into turn 8 and turn 1. But you look at, like, the end of sector 1 and the end of sector 3, they're just high speed corners where the dirty air is going to be awful.
Turn 1 is actually not a hard braking zone. It's
Oh,
in
yeah,
F1 cars.
yeah.
It's actually like just a little tap on the brake, basically.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the track map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very much high speed. It's a very high speed. I'm grateful they actually put in the chicane note on it, because when I watched the last race that was there, which was actually that was Bunch Point that was there, but the last race without that chicane, which was the European Le Mans Series, it actually got boring watching cars go down the straight because there was nothing to challenge them on the way there. It was just 1 kilometer of nothing.
And the problem is turn 10 is in F1 cars is a flat out corner. And so they probably wouldn't really have DRS on that straight without the chicane, because DRS is only in straights where there's a braking zone
Well,
afterwards.
the detection points are just, they're really strange because you've got them after these long, well, not long, these quick corners where the dirty air is going to be awful. So, like,
Yeah,
at
no.
the end of turn 14, so you've got turn 10, which is going to be nearly flat out. You've got turn 11, 12, 13, which are all going to be very, poor and dirty air. And then you've got a detection point into 14, so no one's going to be in that. And it's especially weird because they've been adding these third detection points, so then people would be able to get into the DRS. So it just, I don't know what they're doing.
Mm.
Well, the thing was, we haven't seen F1 race around there, so we might be a little bit early to judge. But from my personal opinion, just first impressions, it doesn't really look that good right now.
It seems to me like it was just Bernie trying to get money, because he does own the track, and this deal was struck in 2016.
Yeah.
His last year in charge. So, and there were even like rumors saying that it's not even going to be on the calendar next year, because obviously, like, they've still got to pay the amount of money that Bernie wanted.
Yeah,
And now
Yeah.
he's not on good terms with F1 because he's
for
really
obvious
salty.
reasons.
He's just really salty. So
Turning up at F1 races with like your old shirt on with the old logo on it.
it's pathetic. But it's like, if this isn't an amazing race, I can't see it being on the card next year.
Yeah.
Like
Which-
I'm hoping for the sake of the French Grand Prix and the fact that France is the country with most drivers in F1 right now with three. I hope it delivers good racing, but I doubt it.
Yeah. One other factor in what could be good racing are some of the tyres that we have. I believe we have the soft supers and ultras. I mean,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
we can all see what the strategy is going to be here.
But let's not forget that this is one of the tracks when they have the tires like they had in Spain, which do favour Merck,
Hmm.
who
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
who are bringing their new engine here.
Yeah.
Well,
Which-
the track is a tire testing track, so I hope very much that Pirelli like chose those tires because like the degradation is quite high there, but I have a feeling it won't be, although there's quite a lot of high speed. It's just that the
Well,
tires
Yeah.
after all the high speed sections, they have so much time to cool down again. So I'm not really sure.
I personally feel like that because of the fact that there's been so much tire testing also for the tires this year. I feel like Pirelli should have if not enough data for this one race at least with these tires to pick out a good selection. They
Hmm. Yeah,
should
but
have the data for it.
It's Pirelli. What do you expect?
Well, the issue is, I've raised this in the last podcast, and people are probably getting tired of me saying it. But, right, teams are just not going to pick tyres which are going to mean so that they're going to go on a two-stop.
Hmm.
The
if you
teams
could-
want a one-stop because a one-stop is
Yeah.
always it's like nearly always the quickest strategy as long as the degradation isn't too high.
Well, even if it's not the quickest strategy, if you can manage a one-stop and it's not going to put you entirely off the pace. Like, because this track isn't going to generate a lot of overtaking. That's what we're going to expect. Maybe
At
the
least not,
straights
at
are.
least not with these cars.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Abu Dhabi
Yeah.
because you've got quick corners and you've got long straights, but
Well, Abu Dhabi is a little bit more medium speed, so Dirty M might have a bigger effect here even.
yeah. So, and we all know how boring Abu Dhabi was last year. There's
That
also
one
a
too.
there's also a hell of a lot of runoff. So in practice, we're going to see
Yeah.
cars flying all over the place.
Yeah.
Like Grosjean, with probably more brake issues.
I can just imagine for myself like none of the three French drivers actually finishes the race.
I think the only way we're going to get a good race is if there's like a mad like pile up at turn one or something. Because people think that they can go like flat there and then they just completely screw it up. So,
I don't think that will really happen, but a pile up into turn one might happen just because of how fast it is. Like it's not that usual to see a
Yes.
fast first corner.
hopefully, like the Williams can make a good start and then it just completely dies because it realizes it's a bad car.
Hopefully it's Stroll.
Hopefully it's
No,
hopefully it's
not
not
again.
Stroll.
Not the third podcast in a row, please.
Please do not
We've had
Cho-
enough of this in Monaco.
No, but
Children,
what happens if
children,
if
calm
gonna
down.
if we're gonna have an incident, it's going to be in turn
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
And it's going to be near the start.
Well, I think
we all know it's going to be Ericsson's fault.
But,
I think
also
turn 10 can also generate some instance with people trying to be in the slipstream out of turn 9 and then going side by side into 10. That could do a massive that could be a massive crash there.
yeah, but also the issue is there's so much runoff. Then people are just gonna decide, you know what, it's not worth it. Let's just go off the track.
Mm,
Hey
yeah.
stewards, I didn't cut the corner. It's fine. I've got the position.
Or even if there's a track that a crash, there will only be like a virtual safety car at max because the stewards can easily recover the car unless there's too much debris on the track.
Yeah. Don't worry, they can just, if they go off track, they can just say they got confused by one of the other layouts.
Yeah.
I thought that was on the track. Oh, I thought-
Oh, we might have a Kimi 2012, was it?
oh yeah, 2012 Brazil, I think. We went up the wrong escape road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a surprise.
No.
But
Like just accidentally like like going from like the long straight
cut
down to
sector
like
1 ends up in sector 3. Like, oh.
just like on his straight accidentally goes down to like turn 14. Like I sorry, I thought the signing was wrong.
Alonso goes wide and ends up in Le Mans.
Again.
Last week.
Oh, hang on, this place seems familiar. Oh yeah, that's why I failed. Oh wait.
I that would be why he's happy to go back to, or be really annoyed he's going back to now. It will all depend on what happens. Well, on Saturday and Sunday.
What, in the Le Mans in 24 hours of Alonso?
Let's not get into that too much. Simon gets very triggered by this. I mean, as do I, but
It's not
we
my
can
fault.
save
it's
this for
Auto's
our Le
fault.
Mans review, but we'll probably talk about this more in detail.
When
Le
actually-
Mans is not about Alonso.
There we go.
Oh, is Alonso just about Le Mans?
Oh
Well,
god.
even if Le Mans is just about Alonso, it's still going to be a better Le Mans than AWA.
I think for the sake of both your and other people's health, do not mention that.
Yeah.
Oh my! I'm still recovering from that. That was, oh my god, that was just exhausting.
Anyway, back onto the subject of the French Grand Prix.
Well, I think we kind of covered that, but as there were like doubts over it in 2019, they released a provisional calendar, and it's longer. It's longer.
Indeed they
like,
have.
Oh my god.
I believe it's 2 weeks longer, and we have our first race in December since the 1968 season.
Yeah.
Because Australia's been moved forward 1 week to give, like, I believe a 2 week period before round 3. I think
Yeah.
is what I read. This
Yeah.
news was from like 2 weeks ago. So, because China's going to hold the 1000th F1 Grand Prix.
Well, what I'm a bit like, how much testing are they going to have? Because you've got to imagine they're still going to only have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If we have anything like this year, then like the teams are going to get no testing.
And
Yeah, but
they
this year was a
don't want
little
that.
bit this year was a little bit of a freak situation. So I would, because it was like raining for the not raining, snowing around that time for the first time in like 20 years in Barcelona there. So
Yeah, no.
I don't expect it to happen again this year.
I remember trying to follow that third test day and just snow, more and snow. I seeing some of the things.
Say,
People were excited when a
Oh,
car
I-
left.
I
the pit
got-
lane, like, oh my god, a car's left.
how was that?
I almost had like a deja vu back to, I think it was when the US almost got cancelled because of a storm warning. A storm. Like
Oh yeah.
the things people did, like Mercedes Craig called the snowman as well, and it's like like they were having so much fun that day, despite they wanted to do something else. They had so much fun.
Yeah, screw testing. Let's have fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
but they
also Italy last year qualifying where they, well,
It
I
was like
think
the first time they had rain in like
Verstappen-
10 years
yeah.
or something, wasn't it?
Verstappen and Ricardo had like just like started dancing in the rain.
oh yeah, I think
Weren't, like the Merc drivers like playing like on like, games console with each other.
yeah.
I believe
Lewis Hamilton was streaming it on his Instagram, I think. As well.
I think even Ricardo actually took control of one of the cameras, one of the actual
Oh,
F1
yeah,
cameras,
he did.
and
No,
actually
that was in Monza one.
yeah once a
Yeah,
month.
but we're talking about Italy.
Oh,
And I think he even went into the Mercedes garage with it.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
tried to go to the Mercedes guys. Like,
Yeah.
Can I keep this with the
that's
tape
why
for
Red
the
Bull are so
team?
quick this year.
I think I love these. That's why I love those sessions where it's some kind of extremely extreme weather just stops everything, because you see these drivers very lighthearted and having fun, and doing all kinds of stuff with the weather.
Yeah.
Just also trying to make sure just trying to entertain the fans, give them something as well.
Hmm.
I mean, speaking of Monza, they want to terminate their contract because they don't want to pay the absurd fees that Bernie agreed with them to pay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
This is one of the
actually
many tracks on the calendar at the moment that are
actually
having issues with their contracts, which is not it's not a new story in F1. It's been going for years since Bernie's been
I'm
in
pretty sure
control.
Monza has said that they want to pull out because of the money for years now. I
Yeah.
remember in like 2015 reading about it. And
I
everyone being like, "Oh, we're going back to Imola."
I think that one of the bad things about that is the fact that internally in the Italian like motorsport federation there has been troubles as well because San Marino wants to try and get it back onto the F1 calendar, but they for whatever reason don't get any backing from the Italian motorsport federation, and that they are getting extremely annoyed as they feel like they're being cheated out of this thing. And if
Yeah.
Monza pulls out, the Marina has Imola has already said, we here. Like if
Yeah.
you want us, we here.
Well-
But they're just lacking the Italian Motorsport Federation's approval of it.
Well, there are rumours that for 2020, I believe, Monza aren't going to be on the calendar and they're going to be replaced by Imola for 1 year, and then in 2021, Monza would return with a better deal.
Hmm.
Because you've got to think, like, Liberty aren't going to let a famous track like Monza go
No.
Hell,
because of under the old management.
I
They
say
can't-
if you look at Monza, you see why they don't want that thing to go away from F1.
Yeah.
Like the atmosphere is legendary with the tifosis.
Yeah. You lose Monza, you lose a big part of F1.
Yeah.
Same with Silverstone.
True.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
We,
Well,
we
that's
don't
a
we don't
debate
we don't
point.
have a better track. We don't really have a suitable track here in the UK. Because Donington, they don't have enough money, and in my opinion, it's also not a good enough track for F1. And Brands Hatch is way too dangerous for the current cars because they're going so quickly, especially into turn one. There could be a massive crash. And then, of course, people are saying, "Oh, London Grand Prix," but
How about
the
that?
yeah, the London mayor has already said that he's like kind of interested, but he doesn't want it because of all the pollution and that. And there's not really anywhere else to go. Like London is the only like really major, well-known place.
Why don't they go to
the
Battersea
UK.
Park?
I was about to bring that point up because I remember all the issues Formula E have had in the past about London, which is why
Yes.
London got taken off the calendar because of complaints from people. So
But they
Yeah,
went to Birmingham.
and for Formula One is just going to bring a lot more problems than
yeah,
Formula
because it's
E
going to be
will ever.
going to be even louder.
It's louder, more pollution, more traffic because of all the people. So
Mm.
I seriously think if Liberty can't do anything to keep Silverstone, there will not be a British Grand Prix soon.
Well,
Yeah.
I really don't think Silverstone's going to go. I just don't. It's kind of the thing that they just hate the current deal, and as you know,
I mean, you would.
the
It's
rumors are
disgusting.
the rumors are
I think the deal was like what, extra 5% every year.
extra 10%.
It goes up. It goes up like 5-10 million every year.
Yeah, so they're
Like,
in
for a 5-year deal.
the past like 3 years. They've had sellout crowds, and they're still in massive debt.
Yeah.
Like they're
Thanks,
still
Bernie.
Like I'll say, when you can have like I'm studying economics, which is why I'm saying this. If you have a fallout, if you completely sell out and still have a negative, something is clearly wrong and should be done with. And usually, if you have a negative, you have high costs. Especially because we are talking about a soul out here. Doesn't mean you have a high cost which you need to cut down on, which comes from the contract. So that's like already there. It's just the contract itself is just broken for Silverstone, and
Yeah.
it's why they accepted that I do not know.
Talk about a broken contract system. Germany's still having their issues, of course.
Yeah.
They also want a new deal.
Wait, when is Hockenheim's deal running out?
It's a bilateral deal, isn't it?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they're meant
but-
to have a deal with like Nürburgring, but it just
Yeah,
never
but-
works.
When is Hockenheim's deal running out? Like in which year?
I think it's 2021.
Okay,
believe.
because
But
I think
the
from
issue- I think the issue is that Liberty want either the Nürburgring or Hockenheim to be on next year,
Mm.
but
But Hockenheim can't afford to do it every year.
Yeah, Hockenheim can't afford.
Which is why they have this thing where they do it basically every 2 years, because that's all they can afford to do.
And the new Nürburgring owners are still fuck you no.
Yeah.
Nürburgring simply can't do it. But like, I mean, the Nürburgring would be such a good track for these cars.
Yeah.
Like maybe not for racing, let's say, but just to drive it.
Yeah.
It would be incredible. But like, if anyone's going to be able to persuade a track, it's going to be the current FOM. It's going to be Liberty because I mean they want to make a profit as all companies do, which is why they've got like they're not really outlawing these pay TV and putting F1 behind a paywall and everything.
Yeah.
Instead they're having F1 TV, which is a much better platform in my opinion than Sky, because I mean Sky is just ludicrous. It's like 40 quid a month.
Exactly.
It's stupid. Much rather
especially as like I think Lambrecht's brought this up last podcast about the quality of racing as well.
Yeah.
Like you're paying that for what happened in Canada. Like no, I'd rather spend my 40 quid somewhere else, thanks.
Yeah, like we've had how many bad races in a row now? Like we haven't had a good
3?
Yeah.
3, yeah.
Spain was very boring. Monaco was Monaco, and Canada was even worse.
Well, Canada wasn't really worse, but it was still very
There were
bad.
less overtakes in Monaco.
Yeah, but well, we should know that just looking at overtakes doesn't show like how exciting a race is. But it's just we haven't had a good race since Baku, and I'm paying even Sky Sports HD, so I'm paying even more than that.
Jesus.
Yes, so
Put like an L in the comments for Tiger.
yeah.
Or an F.
Yeah. Or please some money. But it's just really annoying that we can't have F1 TV here, because it's such a good platform once they actually get it working. I would love to have it, but I already have Sky, so it's like either one or the other.
Alright, stop flexing.
Yeah. No, I would love to have F1 TV. It's just waiting for that current Sky contract to run out.
You sound like a racetrack trying to end your own contract.
No, well, we just have to wait until Sky and F1's contract runs out, and then hopefully they'll just do F1 TV.
Well,
the problem with all these track having their new contracts is because Miami's contract means they don't pay anything.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, because this is why there's been so much uproar from other tracks, because suddenly Miami's just come onto the calendar and they're not paying anything. Well, they're sat on contracts from like 2-3 years ago and they're paying over the top levels.
Well, I think the strategy by Liberty is to use the Miami Grand Prix for 1 year. So they're only going to have it on either they're only going to have like the Miami like street track for 1 year, and then they're going to move to another track. So they're not going to pay anything, and then after that, then the track organization, the track organizer, I can't speak.
Organizers.
So that's Spode all over again from last time.
Excuse me, I'm doing exams. I'm tired. So yeah, then after that, they'd have to pay. But I think the strategy by Liberty is to just use the Miami Grand Prix as like an advertisement. So to just grow the brand out there, and then obviously, you know, you get more fans, you get more revenue, blah blah blah.
Oh, what a shame! They're going to use Miami once. It's such a good track.
I mean, there was an interesting point that like Murray Walker of all people made like 20 years ago, is that like they keep on trying to branch out into America, but then they're just using the street tracks. And like
they were gonna do New Jersey in 2013.
Yeah, but like street tracks aren't gonna get people excited because you're just watching Formula One cars going slowly.
The problem is, what does the US have actual tracks? They have Coda, they have Indy, Indianapolis, they have the Glen, they have Sebring, Laguna,
Road America.
Road America as well, yeah,
They have so
and so
many.
no, and so I'll say if the best bet they can have on the racetrack in the U.S. is Sonoma in
It's
Abilene,
like
Nevada.
they've got so many amazing racetracks in America, and they are just never used.
Hmm.
I would say
Well,
with
some of them are not really suitable for F1. For example, Laguna, like the some of the elevation changes and
no,
the
the corkscrew is an instant no. The corkscrew Laguna is an instant no.
yeah, but like the elevation changes together with the shape of the corners, it's just not suited for F1 because especially with how low the cars drive.
Yeah,
and
but
how
that's
low the
like
cars are.
that's one track in like so many.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
you've got others which are more than suitable.
Yeah.
Um, but they just keep on. They're using the Formula E strategy of taking racing to people. But the issue is that Formula E kind of can do it because they've been doing it from the start. And
Yeah.
there's no dirty air in Formula E whatsoever because all the technical regulations are so strict. Like I
And
think
it helps. It's a sole chassis maker, which means they can make a race car, not a fast car.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're kind of Formula E's kind of hindered by its own reputation in a way with
Yeah.
how with how it's all structured. Like, I mean, obviously I said this like last podcast, but they just want fast cars, and then they don't. Then they want race cars, and you can't have they, you can't have both, but you just can't really. Like
Yeah.
they don't blend together perfectly.
I think I said I think I said this last podcast as well. You
Yeah,
can have a fast car that is not a good race car, but you can have a race car that is also semi-fast. The thing is, F1 teams are trying to build a fast car because a fast car means you get ahead. However, a fast car doesn't always equal a race car, a good race car.
Look at the Mercedes recently. It's a
Exactly.
fast car, but it can't race other cars
because
because it gets stuck in dirty air.
all
And
teams want to do is be on pole, not be behind anyone and win.
exactly.
I think what they have to do is make the make the regulations so that there's a there's a race car, and then let teams make just the fastest race car they can,
Yeah.
I mean,
but not just a fast car.
the real problem with it is that if they do go for this Miami track, there's going to be no overtaking, like whatsoever, because it's going to be incredibly narrow. The cars aren't going to be that better at overtaking. Obviously, we've got this new front wing coming in, but how much that's going to do is, is doubtable. It's going to be like another Monaco, except it's not going to have the prestige nor the money in it. It's not. It's going to be like a B-Tech Monaco, effectively,
Yeah,
and you know,
and in America as well, like it's not even B Tech.
it's like I don't know what they're doing with it because it's like they're trying. You can see what they're trying to do,
Yeah.
but they're not going about.
They're
it
not doing it very well.
sometimes. No.
But I think that another bit of 2019 news we had a couple of weeks ago is we're going to get a new helmet for the drivers to aid safety.
Yeah. It's actually being made mandatory from next year.
Yeah.
So
Basically, there's quite a lot of it that's different, and there's quite a lot of tests. But just the main kind of thing is the front visor is lowered by 10 millimeters. It's made from advanced composite materials with resistance to crushing and penetration, and it's also got increased energy absorption.
Massacre used it in 2009.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. It's I believe it's starting with Bell, as you can see. And it's they tried it, and it is like there will be no other like actual helmet manufacturers for next year. It will only be this one helmet. As I think I Chigley said somewhere, paint design may vary. But yeah, it's an interesting helmet in a way because I think a few people like say, what about vision? Because the actual visor itself has also been made smaller. Well, so we'll find out about
Yeah, could be interesting.
It looks like an ice warrior from Doctor Who.
It kind of looks a little bit more aggressive, not gonna lie. Like with the smaller thingy, with the smaller like lid, it looks quite a bit more aggressive, and you know, I kind of like the design, although I still need to get used to it. But I don't think we'll notice much difference, anyways, from the TV.
Well, it's a bit difficult to.
You won't see it from
get a
behind the
gauge.
halo anyway.
Yeah.
that.
It's difficult to get a gauge of it because obviously it's just covered in carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to see like a proper pattern on it. But
Yeah, I was
we
like
will-
get like try and get just someone's paint like helmet design on there just to see how it looks.
Yeah.
Although for for those that design helmets, I still love this because they got even more work to work with now.
Even more.
Even more things to design with, even more places to do nifty bits.
Yeah, but should we just finish off the France predictions?
Yeah, I think we'll just
Yeah.
finish off by rounding out our last little bit for France. There was a last little bit of news that's just come out actually today that Renault have signed a Mercedes team member of Matthew Harmon as their new deputy chief designer. He was head of powertrain integration at Mercedes. So another interesting team member movement. There's been a few of them this year.
Yeah, so maybe Renault looking for some big improvements for the next few years.
Yeah. Well, they are going for their idea of trying to become a top team again, and
Well,
their five-year plan.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they have the potential. They definitely do.
Yeah, they definitely have the
Like
potential.
they are
manufacturer.
They seem a lot more stable and realistic than McLaren, because McLaren is just rushing and just like being a little bit arrogant. But Renault's taking it
Yeah.
slowly,
a
just
bit
going
arrogant.
step by step. Yeah.
Just a
We
bit
have
arrogant.
the chassis in F1.
I would say they've been it's the arrogance that is biting them in the ass right now. They've been so arrogant on the Honda, and it's
Yeah.
hurt them also reputation wise, because all of a sudden when they got these Renault engines, they got it also exposed. Like though it was shown, like McLaren is not where they should be, not even with proper engines.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So if you look at McLaren and Renault, it's basically the two different approaches of trying to get back to the top. McLaren is trying to get back to the top now, straight away, and then Renault is like the sensible solution of trying to get there slowly, making sure they can actually get there soon.
Like be realistic about knowing we cannot jump from we can't jump to the moon right now.
Yeah.
We have to go do step by step. The US didn't land on the moon after one single trip. That took many trips to do it, much of research and work into it. And
Exactly.
like McLaren has this philosophy. Okay, we fell down. We get back. We just send one space shuttle. We can get to the we get to the top.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Renault has this. Let's try and work our way. First, let's see if we can get around the globe. Then a bit away from the globe, and then try and aim for the moon. Like they're trying to work the way towards the top.
Yeah. But I think we'll start into our little final bit at the end where we do our predictions. The last two, last two French Grand Prix, the one in 2008, 10 years ago, and the last one at Paul Ricard both had Ferrari front rows and wins.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that'd be the same for 2018.
Probably not the front row, but I think Paul Vettel.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
with Mercedes' upgraded engine, they say it's worth 1.5 tenths. And with
Yeah,
those,
I saw a statistic that Ferrari's new engine from Canada gave them 12 extra horsepower. But Renault and now the new Mercedes engine have 20 extra horsepower. So I think Mercedes will have an advantage over.
and if you look
Ferrari.
at Canada, Bottas on the old engine was within a tenth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And in the end finished ahead of Hamilton.
But
So
I think we'll jump into my favourite predictions of the year of a track we haven't raced in, in
Wait,
28 years.
Basically, we judge the shoot in the blind here.
Yeah. You think our normal predictions are out there? They're going to get more fun today. So, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll do my usual because I have faith in Ferrari still. Well, you have Vettel.
Okay. Jeebus, what about you?
I don't know. Because do we believe Mercedes and that the new power unit is so good? How are they going to be in the fast corners? Don't know. I don't know. Because of the tires and the engine, I'm gonna say Hamilton. No, I'm gonna say Bottas, win and pole, because
Interesting.
like the tires and the engine and Bottas is in better form.
Okay.
I don't know.
Tiger?
I'm also not really sure, because I definitely do think it's going to be close between Ferrari and Mercedes because of the mix of long straights and high speed. Well, I'm not really sure. I'm going to go with pole Hamilton and win Vettel. I know I'm going to be wrong, but I'm just going to stick with that.
Okay. I think I might agree with Jeebus. I'm going to go out there and say Bottas is going to take this weekend. He's on a good bit of form, and you never know, this track might suit him.
Bottas deserves a win.
He does. I think he's got the most second places out of anyone this year.
And you say he did deserve to win in Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Vettel was dominating the whole race until.
All right, Vettel fanboy, calm down.
No, it's true.
we ain't got time to discuss this.
No,
I
I
think
just want to say this one thing, yeah. People keep saying Bottas deserved to win that race, but Vettel was the one who dominated the whole race until the safety car fucked up his strategy. So
You could also, I would say that he deserved to win China more, because both he
really got screwed by the safety car there.
he got Vettel clean, like fair and square, and then like he got fucked over by the safety car.
yeah.
Even Bahrain, if he decided to actually go for the gap.
Nice.
But that's a whole other debate.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone for the gap, to be honest.
His tires
He
were
was
dead.
too far. Yeah,
Yeah.
his tires were dead, and he was too far away.
Yeah, but I think before we get into a debate about Valtteri Bottas, I think we should wrap it up. We'll be back. Well, some of us will be back on Sunday for our Le Mans review. So like the channel and subscribe to keep up with that. Also follow us on Twitter at the F1 Agenda to keep up to date. And say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.